Assalamu alaikum. This is for class 12. This is lens maker formula. Today we will I will tell you the definition of lens maker formula. What are the assumptions we are using for lens maker formula, and tomorrow inshallah we will derive it. It is a long type of question. It takes at least 2 and 3 classes. If you remember the last class, I have discussed new cards and sign conventions of spherical lenses. That means here in case of lens, you know that all distance are measured from the optical centers, and it is the last yesterday's class. That means when object is here, when we move against the direction of light, this distance is taken as negative. When we move towards the direction of light, it is taken as positive. The height above the principal axis is taken as positive. The height below the principal axis is taken as negative. And before discussing this lens maker formula, I will tell you the consequences of sign convention. कल हमने जो पढ़ा है फिर हम देखेंगे इस पे consequences of the sign conventions. इससे हमें क्या निकलता है consequences? You know that if you take this convex lens here and concave lens here, if you remember this is the optical center. The ray of light is coming here. It means here this is called focal length. When distance are measured from the optical centers here, that means the focal length of a converging lens or convex lens or converging lens is positive because we are moving against the direction of along the direction of light. Here optical center यहाँ से distance measuring, we are moving this. In case of this, you know this, it diverges here. This pass through optical, this diverge. If you remember, the rays are meet in the backward direction. That means we are moving from this optical center. We are moving against the direction of light. It is taken as negative. That means converging lens का this focal length positive है, diverging lens की negative है. And you know this object is always placed here. Object distance is always negative. In case of converging lens or diverging lens, object distance is always negative. Object distance is always negative. Object distance is always negative. The distance of real image is positive and that of virtual image is negative. The distance of real image यहाँ बनती है, that is positive because we are moving in the direction of light, and distance of virtual image is negative. The height is always positive. The object height is always positive. The height of virtual erect image is positive and that of real inverted image is negative क्योंकि वो नीचे बनती है, लाइन के नीचे. This is the consequence. My topic is here lens maker formula. What is lens maker formula? Lens maker formula basically, if I define it, lens maker formula gives a relation that connects the focal length f of the lens to radii. I know that it's a convex lens. It is having two rays of curvatures. The radii of curvatures of the two surfaces. That means focal length of the lens. That means that connects the focal length of the lens to radii of curvatures. Why I am taking radii? Because it is having two radius of curvatures of two surfaces. You know surfaces R1 and R2. If you remember the previous class, I have shown you, suppose this is the convex lens or concave lens. I can take this convex lens. It is having two radius of curvatures here and here. If I pass here this is the it is having this is one radius of curvature. if this is the center of curvature, इस ये इसका बनता है सी वन लेंस वन का है, लेंस टू का इस साइड में बनता है, इट इज़ सेंटर ऑफ कर्वेचर ऑफ लेंस टू, और ये इसका रेट्स ऑफ कर्वेचर, इसमें R1 और R2, इसमें दो रेट्स ऑफ कर्वेचर R1 एंड R2, R1 एंड R2, एंड रिफ्रैक्टिव इंडेक्स ऑफ द मटेरियल ऑफ द लेंस एंड रिफ्रैक्टिव इंडेक्स, हर चीज़ हर जो भी लेंस है इसमें कोई पर्टिकुलर रिफ्रैक्टिव इंडेक्स होता है ऑफ द मटेरियल of the lens. Mathematical form of this is mathematically, if I write lens maker form, 1 by f, it is a focal length, is equal to mu minus 1. It is the refractive index of the lens material into 1 by r1 minus 1 by r2, where R1 is the radius of curvature of one surface, it's having two surfaces, and R2 is the radius of curvature of two. So this is the mathematical form of lens maker formula. 1 by f is equal to mu minus 1, 1 by R1 minus 1 by R2. That means lens maker formula gives relation that connects the focal length of the radii of curvature of two surfaces R1 and refractive index of the material of the lens. This is the mathematical form of lens maker form. But we are not doing before going ahead, before derivation of the lens maker formula, we are making some assumptions. Assumptions are must. We are making some assumptions. What are the assumptions? That means you know that I already discussed that all distance are measured from their optical center, but in here we case in lens maker formula, we assume that lens is so thin that the distance measured from the pole of two surfaces of lens can be taken as equal to the distance measured from the optical center. Lens is so thin, ये इतनी पतली है, जो डिस्टेंस यहाँ से मेजर कर रहे थे, ये इस दैट मीन इसका पोल यहाँ होगा, लेंस का पोल यहाँ होगा, इसका पोल यहाँ होगा. द लेंस मटेरियल इज सो थिन द डिस्टेंस मेजर फ्रॉम द ऑप्टिकल सेंटर कैन बी इक्वल टू द डिस्टेंस मेजर फ्रॉम द ऑप्टिकल सेंटर. जो पोल की हम डिस्टेंस मेजर करते हैं, पोल से हम डिस्टेंस मेजर करते हैं, दैट मीन्स इट्स ऑलमोस्ट इक्वल टू द डिस्टेंस फ्रॉम द ऑप्टिकल सेंटर. गो दैट मीन्स ये थिन है, दैट मीन्स ऑप्टिकल सेंटर एंड इसका ये मतलब होगा जो ऑप्टिकल सेंटर और ये है कौन सा ऑप्टिकल सेंटर एंड दिस pole of the lenses hai, they are very close to each other. That means the lens material, first assumption what we are doing, the lens material is so thin, the lens material is so thin that distance measured from the pole of two surfaces of the lens can be taken as equal to the distance from the optical center of the lens. This is the first assumption. What are the second assumptions we are doing? We are doing second is the aperture of lens is small. That means this aperture is the diameter of the lens. The aperture of lens is small. This is the second assumption. The aperture is small. Small aperture lens. Small aperture. The lens small aperture. Number third. Here, this is the lens. Suppose this is the principal axis. This is the lens. The object is a point object lying on the principal axis. We are not here going to show the object just like this. We say that this is the point object. These are the assumptions which are made in the lens maker form. That means the object here placed it is placed at the principal axis. It is shown in the form of a dot. That means the object is a point object lying on the principal axis. And we suppose that the incident ray and the refracted rays, the incident ray is this ray, refracted ray is this ray, they make small angles with the principal axis of the lens. They make with small angles with the principal axis. These are the some assumptions we are making that distance measured. These are some assumptions. But before deriving the lens maker formula, we both are in our syllabus. That is concave mirror, convex lens or concave lens. We have to derive this lens maker formula. What is lens maker formula? It indicates the relation between focal length and refractive index and rates of curvatures of two surface R1 minus R2. This is the mathematical form of lens. When it takes a separate this class. How can we derive it? But before deriving it, we have to make these assumptions into consideration. And one more thing we have to remember: when this when light comes from suppose this is an lens here. Suppose object is here, that is light is coming from rear to denser medium. ये rear medium हो गया, ये denser की air और ये glass है. When light comes from rear medium to denser medium, इसका refractive index एक होता है, इसका refractive index दूसरा होता है. मैंने already आपको refractive index के बारे में पढ़ा. When light comes from refractive index when light comes from rear medium to denser medium, please remember when हमें वो प्रूफ की तरफ नहीं जाना, तो वो अगर वो मैं प्रूव कर लूँगा तो एक दो क्लास उसमें जाएंगे. When light comes from rear to denser medium, you have to remember this formula, because it helps me. It helps me for the derivation of the lens maker formula, because उसमें पहले ऑब्जेक्ट यहाँ होता है, ये रियर से डेंसर की तरफ होता है, फिर यहाँ लाइट डेंसर से रियर की तरफ आती है, बिकॉज व्हेन लाइट कम्स फ्रॉम हियर रियर मीडियम, इट फॉल्स ऑन द रिफ्रैक्टेड दिस ग्लास एंड इट गेट्स रिफ्रैक्टेड फ्रॉम रिफ्रैक्टेड इट इमर्जेस आउट. दैट मीन्स लाइट इज कमिंग फ्रॉम रियर टू फर्स्ट हम सपोज करते हैं लाइट इज कमिंग फ्रॉम दिस टू दिस एंड फ्रॉम डेंसर टू रियर. एंड लाइट कम्स फ्रॉम रियर टू डेंसर, यू हैव टू रिमेंबर μ1 minus u is the object distance plus μ2 divided by v is the image. You know that this is the object, this is the image, is equal to μ2 minus μ1 divided by r, where you know that mu is the refractive index of rear medium in air, μ2 is the refractive index of glass, u is the object distance and v is the image formation, r is the radius of curvature of that side on which this falls. This, that means if light falls from this r is the radius of curvature. This if light comes from denser to rear, from denser to rear medium, then you have to remember this minus μ2 u is the object distance plus μ1 v is equal to μ1 माइनस μ2 डिवाइड बाई r. यहाँ μ2 माइनस, यहाँ ऑब्जेक्ट डिस्टेंस भी है, यहाँ μ1 माइनस बटा जिस माइनस, ये माइनस यहाँ भी चढ़ूँगा, माइनस μ1 डिवाइड बाई u प्लस μ2 डिवाइड बाई v इज इक्वल टू μ2 माइनस μ1 डिवाइड बाई r minus. But if light falls from denser to rear medium, then this you have to remember this formula, μ2 divided by v plus μ1 divided by v, μ1 minus μ2 divided by r. Or you have to remember these two formulas also. There is a proof for these two formulas, but these are not in my syllabus. My job is only here to make the derivation for lens maker formula. When I derive the lens maker formula, I make use of these two formulas also for derivation of the lens maker formula. So inshallah today's topic is up to this. Tomorrow we can do the derivation of lens maker formula for convex lens, and day after tomorrow we can do for the concave lens. Both are your in syllabus. This is important question, derivation of lens maker formula. It is frequently asked in the examination. This is the mathematical form of lens maker formula. Statement of lens maker formula is, lens maker formula gives the relation that connects the focal length of the lens to radius of curvature of two surfaces R1 and R2. This is the mathematical form of this. Hope you have got this, and we are making some assumptions for doing the lens maker power. Thank you very much. Hope you have got it. Okay.